Welcome to another quick start tutorial. I'm Laura from thebusybeepost.com, and in today's tutorial I will cover how to create credit notes in GnuCash to record a refund for customer purchases or services rendered. If you like my tutorials and find them helpful, please subscribe so that you won't miss a single episode and to show support for this channel. Let's begin. To begin, you need the original customer invoice and the refund amount. You can use one of two ways to search for the invoice in the system. You can select Business, Customer Overview. Here is where you will find a list of your customers. Depending on how many customers you have, the list can be quite long. To view the customer's original invoice, select the desired customer by clicking on the customer's name. And when the customer's record opens, select the link to the customer's invoice you want to view. Now, another method you can use if you find the customer list would consume too much time searching for the customer is the GnuCash Find Invoice tool. By selecting on the menu bar Business, then Customer, and then Find Invoice. On the Find Invoice screen, the first option you have is to search by the invoice ID number, which is fine if you know the ID number, but if not, then you can click on the drop down arrow and here you'll see the other options you can use to search for the customer's invoices. I will simply select the company name option since I know the exact name of the company as entered in the system. And in the search box, here we can enter the first few letters of the company or person's name you entered in the company field text box when you created the original invoice. Since I don't really have a lot of customers, I will just enter the letter P for personal touch. Then I will scroll down and select Find. Once the selection of invoices appears, you just have to highlight the invoice you want to view or edit by clicking on it. And then select View Edit Invoice on the right hand side and close out the screen. Now here we can see the original invoice and the amount as entered in the system so that we can create the credit note using the information as displayed on the original invoice to reverse the transaction. When finished looking it over, close out and let's start the credit note by selecting Business, Customer, New Invoice. When the new invoice window opens, select Credit Note. ID is your internal number for this credit note. If you leave it blank, an ID number will be generated automatically for you. In the Open Date field, here you can enter the date you're opening the refund claim, or you can leave the present date if it applies. Under Billing Information in the Customer field text box, enter the customer who will receive the refund. Start by typing in the first few letters of the customer's name, and GnuCash will try to auto-complete it for you. If that doesn't work, then click on the Select button to access the Find Customer Search tool and basically follow the same steps as we used with the Find Invoice tool. In the Notes field text box, here is where you can enter a note pertaining to the reason for the refund. Any notes you enter here, you can keep hidden from the customer, or if you like, you can have the note appear on the credit note you send to the customer. To learn more about how to display the notes field on an invoice, you can watch my video on creating sales receipts. And when finished, select OK. On the Edit Invoice screen, here's where you'll enter an itemized list of goods and services you're refunding as displayed on the original invoice. Date is the date of the refund. Description, enter item or items or service you're refunding. Now here's a tip. If you entered this product previously in GnuCash, which in this example, since this is a refund, I have to have entered it previously. And since that is the case, GnuCash remembers the details of the previous transactions based on this description. You enter here. And what that means is you can use the tab key on your keyboard, and GnuCash will fill the information in for you based on the last entry for this particular description, like so. Everything is automatically filled in, and all I have to do is make any corrections if needed. Keep in mind, the tab key works the same way even if you're entering a simple transaction that you entered previously in the system in the description field. GnuCash will auto-complete it for you when you use the tab key. If you had to enter the information manually, of course you would enter the information here the same way it's entered on the original invoice. When you're finished making any necessary changes to the credit note, it's time to post it. Posting the credit note places the transaction in the accounts receivable account. Select the post icon on the toolbar. If you don't see the post icon on the toolbar, scroll over and use the drop down arrow to review the hidden icons and select post. When the dialog box opens asking if you want to save it, select yes. When the post invoice window opens, here you can change any dates you need to and select OK. Next, back to the toolbar. This time select Pay to process the credit note. And again, if you don't see Pay on the toolbar, use the drop down arrow to select it. When the process payment window opens, here you should be able to see all the details about the credit note, as well as the date of the credit note and type of invoice, which is a credit note, and the credit amount. And under transaction details, it displays the full amount that is being refunded to the customer for this transaction. Once you review the information, then select the transfer field you want to use to deduct the money you are refunding. In most cases, this will be the checking account. In this example, the checking account is already highlighted, so all I need to do is select OK to finish up and save the changes. If you would like to print a copy to send to your customer, you can select the print credit note icon on the toolbar. Now let's look at how a refund appears in the checking account register. I can see the original deposit amount, which originated from the accounts receivable amount received, and that I've entered a refund for the full amount, which is displayed as a withdrawal. And that's it. Now you know how to create credit notes in GnuCash. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss a single episode.